we have a little bit of a heroin epidemic going across the United States. Now, I talk about it here, not because I think we can do anything about it inside AA rooms, but if I really believe what it says in my big book doesn't tell me that I'm only to be of service to those in Alcoholics Anonymous. My big book tells me I should be of service to God and all those about me. And so what really kills me and makes my stomach hurt, actually, is how many addicts who are not alcoholics have died while attending Alcoholics Anonymous meetings. What kills me more than that and hurts me more than that is the alcoholic ego. Like, it's one thing if they just don't know better and they just come into a meeting. Who am I to judge? But if some alcoholic who doesn't have that problem, who knows the person isn't an alcoholic, decides that because they have the perfect program that the first 100 had and they're an expert in the big book, that they're going to somehow help someone who's not an alcoholic because the solution in steps 2 to 12 is the same, I have news for you. It's an execution. I'm sick and tired of seeing pictures of young kids on Facebook who have OD'd, who I know from Alcoholics Anonymous. So what can we do about that? Because we're AA. Well, there's a lot we can do. We can stop putting down other 12-step fellowships in our meetings. We can stop saying ridiculous things like NA doesn't have a solution, or there's no solution at NA, or it's a weak program, or they don't have any old-timers. The people I hear when I ask them about that, they've never been to NA. They were never NA members. And I asked them how they've made this, decision about branding all of NA or HA bad. And they tell me they heard it from other newcomers. Other newcomers? Other newcomers, I go to the John Goldberg rule, which is I don't believe anything a newcomer tells me for a year, right? I don't care what they call themselves because I don't believe them. I inherently know they're incapable of being honest. So, but I have to be practical at the same time. If I'm willing to be at a meeting and willing to say I'm an alcoholic and willing to talk to a kid outside and willing to celebrate my anniversary there so somebody knows I maybe have a little bit of time, if I say something bad about another 12-step fellowship, is someone else who somewhat looks up to me going to want to go there? Even though the magic elixir to save their life is there? If I say something stupid like NA doesn't have a solution, if you're a young kid who knows me who's dying of opiate addiction, are you going to go there? You might put a little bit too much faith into what I had to say. Really what I need to do is have a couple of phone numbers of active NA members. So when I run into someone in Alcoholics Anonymous, I don't chase them out of a meeting. It's not my job. It's not what we do. We're supposed to be out there doing God's work. It's a lot easier if I know someone who's active in GA or NA, and I can connect that person. There's nothing wrong with keeping an NA or HA directory in your secretary's book at your home group. It doesn't need to go out on the literature table. But there's nothing wrong with being able to help tell someone where they can go to get their life saved. I'm the biggest believer in singleness of purpose that we are for those who suffer from alcoholism. And if you happen to suffer from something else, you belong here if you're an alcoholic. But NA has done such a better job with singleness of purpose than we have. They're better at it than we are. It's funny, it's almost comical. We have the reputation of being like the hard asses. But for those of you that have never been to a NA home group, they read a statement of clarity. They tell people not to use the term alcoholic or sober. They use addict and clean. And they do it because they want their meeting to be about recovery from addiction. Same thing. I don't care if you're an alcoholic and an addict, but the literature tells me you should only identify yourself as an alcoholic in an AA meeting. You identify yourself for what you are for respect of the meeting that you're sitting in.